put our country on the wrong track. We can't have another 4 years that look just like the last 8. It is time for change in Washington, and that's why I'm running for President of the United States of America, and that's why we're here today. We know that the economic crisis that hit Wall Street has been hurting middle-class families on Main Street for years. But during the primaries, Senator McCain was saying that we've made great progress economically under George Bush. Just last month, he was still arguing that the fundamentals of our economy are strong. We know that we have to get spending under control in Washington so that we're not burdening our children's future and their amount of debt. But for all of Senator McCain's tough talk on spending, he voted for 4 out of the 5 Bush budgets that let things get totally out of control. That's not change. We know that it's time for new ideas and new leadership in the White House. But Senator McCain voted with President Bush 90% of the time over the last 8 years. Just the other day, George Bush returned the favor and voted early for John McCain. Well, Colorado, George Bush is the only one who gets to vote early. You can vote early too, and you can finally put an end to the Bush-McCain philosophy. You can vote for a new direction for our country. You can vote for change. That's what this election's about. Now we know what's coming from the McCain campaign over the next 9 days, because it's the same kind of politics that we've seen over the last 8 years. It's a politics that's more about tearing your opponent down than lifting the country up. Well, listen, I can take 9 more days of John McCain's attacks, but the American people can't take 4 more years of the same failed policies, the same failed politics. We're not going to let George Bush pass the torch to John McCain, and that's why I'm running for President of the United States, and that's why we're here today. I know these are difficult times. And I know many of you are worried. But I am absolutely confident we can steer ourselves out of this crisis. Because I believe in this country, and I believe in you. I believe in the American people. We are the United States of America. We're a nation that's faced down war and depression, great challenges and great threats. And in each and every moment, we've always risen to meet the challenges. Not as Democrats, not as Republicans, but as Americans, with resolve and with confidence and with that fundamental belief that here in America, our destiny is not written for us, it is written by us. We choose our own destiny. That's who we are. That's the country we need to be right now. But Colorado, it will take a new direction. It will take new leadership in Washington. We're going to have to turn the page on 8 years of economic policies and put Wall Street before Main Street, and ended up hurting both. That's the irony, by the way, of this argument I'm having with John McCain. Rich people do better when ordinary folks are doing well. Part of the problem of what's happened on Wall Street is that ordinary folks were having trouble paying the bills. They were starting to lose their homes. They were starting to be foreclosed on, and that had an impact on everybody. We need policies that grow our economy from the bottom up, so that every American, everywhere, has the chance to get ahead. Not just the person who owns the factory, but the men and women who work on its floor. You know who understood this? Henry Ford, the great innovator who helped to create the U.S. auto industry. He was asked one time, why isn't you paying such good wages to your workers? He said, well, if I pay them good wages, they'll be able to buy my cars. See, if we've learned anything from this economic crisis, it's that we're all connected. We're all in this together. We'll rise or fall as one nation, as one people. The financial rescue plan that passed Congress was a necessary first step. We had to end the credit crisis. We had to make sure banks did not collapse. That was done to protect not just the banks, but to protect all of you, your 401ks, to protect people's jobs so that businesses can still make payroll. But if we're going to build this economy from the bottom up, then we need an immediate rescue plan for the middle class. That's what I want to do as President of the United States of America. employee that companies hire here in the United States over the next 2 years. We'll stop giving tax breaks to companies that ship jobs overseas. We're going to invest in companies that create good jobs right here in Colorado, right here in Denver. We'll help get small businesses back on track by eliminating capital gains taxes, giving them emergency loans to keep their doors open and hire workers. We can create a jobs and growth fund to help states and local governments save millions of jobs and pay for health care and education without having to raise their taxes. We'll also act quickly to help people stay in their homes. We've got to help responsible homeowners refinance their mortgages on affordable terms, to get the banks to renegotiate so that people aren't foreclosed on, but they're making their payments on a regular basis. And you don't see entire communities devastated. And we should put in place a 3-month moratorium on foreclosures to give folks the breathing room they need to get back on their feet while these renegotiations are taking place. I won't let banks and lenders off the hook when it was their greed and their responsibility that all too often got us into this mess. We shouldn't just be bailing out Wall Street, we should be restoring opportunity on Main Street, and that will be my top priority when I take office.